It's Halloween again, the most wonderful time of the year. And don't get me wrong, Christmas is great, spring is alright, but fall, specifically October, is where it's at. And you know what happens during October? Halloween. When I think Halloween, I think nostalgia. And my most nostalgic memories are of family moments, really. So why not poke at a classic family that's creepy, kooky, mysterious, and somewhat spooky? The Addams Family.
Really? That's what you picked? You couldn't pick a legit horror movie for the special?
What's your beef now, dude?
Last year it was Scooby-Doo. Now it's a franchise based of a family sitcom.
Well, it was either Addams Family or Friday the 13th.
Where did you get those choices from? Jason isn't even Halloween material. He lives in a summer camp of all places.
Oh, come on, Jason's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, it's not exactly Halloween material, but it still fits. Plenty of people dress up as Jason for Halloween.
He's a dumbass in a hockey mask. Put him against a werewolf or a vampire, and he would get torn to shreds.
If you say so. Personally, I think Jason's awesome, but we're talking about Addams Family for this Halloween, not Friday the 13th. So, you gonna help or what?
I think I'm going fishing over at the neighbor's house. He'll be back later, so you have fun.
Ah, you're a party pooper, dude. Only in Louisiana can an alligator get licensed to drive a car. Well, since it's just me, I get to pick which version, and let's go with the 91 and 93 films, shall we? Ah, The Addams Family. One of the few sitcoms from the 60s to survive all these years through adaptations, some good, some not. My first introduction to the family was with the 90s films, which we had on VHS. And it's because of this VHS tape, when I think Addams Family, I ironically think McDonald's too. A strange thing to hear if you're not part of a certain age group. During the 90s and the 2000s, fast food restaurants also sold merchandise. VHS tapes promoted by the film could be bought over the counter, though most of the time it was knickknacks like plastic watches or these glasses promoting the Batman Forever film. Now, this is my copy of the VHS tape. As you can tell, I watched this VHS to death. Surprisingly enough, it still plays to this day, but like the wear on the tape, it shows my love for this franchise. Because of this film, I sought out the original show from the 60s, then the cartoon, and eventually the Charles Addams cartoons that were published in New Yorker. Most I read on file at the library when I could, and since most of the comics were mainly targeted toward adults, they kind of flew over my head. But as I grew, I began to understand and appreciate them for what they were. The portrayal of a nuclear family with a Gothic twist and dark humor thrown in made for an interesting time and had a way of making the family seem timeless, just as the show did. Even though the show was very 60s, the characters had a way of being relatable without being tied down by the time they lived in. Meaning the more you watch them, the more you begin to understand, even with the family being weird, it's the people around them that seem weird, trying to conform everything into something that doesn't fit, while the Addamses are just doing their own thing. Yeah, the Addamses are still very weird and possibly homicidal.
This is the guest room.
That was close. Go ahead, Buster, you get another shot.
This time, get him right in the old heart.
But at the end of the day, that's part of the allure of the Addams Family. Now, with the TV show, it couldn't go as dark as it wanted to, being tied down by 60s broadcast standards, but it did try to get away with what it could.
I hope I haven't caught you at a bad time.
No, dear lady, no. As a matter of fact, I wasn't doing anything important tonight.
But if dark humor is your thing, that's where the movies come in. Right out of the gate, the first film lets you know exactly where it's going with its premise, with the Addams dumping a cauldron of something unpleasant on some carolers. Yeah, I really don't feel sorry for these guys, because if you go to this house to sing carols, you kind of have it coming. And to be honest, every time you see Christmas stuff out during October, you kind of want to do this. Let me celebrate Halloween, damn it! After the credits, we walk through the house with Thing, but wait, is that right? He's not walking, running? Maybe? Well, he's a hand, so that would mean he's No, I can't say that. Traveling. Yes, he's traveling through the house. stopping right after he finds Gomez, played by Raul Julia, reminiscing about his missing brother, Fester. A change from the TV show. In the show, Fester was Morticia's immortal uncle, but adopted the name of Addams after Gomez and Morticia got married. Morticia herself being descended from a long line of witches, and her mother is played by one of the most famous actresses to actually play a witch.
Uh-oh, I lost one. One what? Daughter. My young one, Morticia.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
Yeah, that witch. A little bit of side trivia, that actress was seriously burned during the filming of Wizard of Oz, so it's nice to see that she kept getting work even after that horrible accident. It's a shame Nigel isn't here. He loves this kind of stuff, but he has to go catfishing.
Okay, got my rig set. See if I can catch something today. Here, kitty kitty.
Now, the change with Fester and Gomez makes sense as the plot unfolds, but they did more than just change family arrangements. They also put makeup around Gomez's eyes to match Fester's when they finally reunite. And this was a touch I didn't pick up on VHS, but I picked up with newer TVs and DVDs years down the road. It wasn't necessary, but it shows the director Barry Sonnenfeld is a very big fan of the source material, both the show and the comics. The movie has this nice marriage between the two, all while taking advantage of that PG-13 rating.
Last night you were unhinged. You were like some desperate, howling demon. You frightened me. Do it again.
And for the longest time, I was under the impression that Tim Burton had something to do with this film, but no, that's not the case at all. Burton bowed out after he saw the script and said it was terrible. He passed it on to somebody else who then passed it down the line. After so many directors passed on the project, the producer was aware of how much Sonnenfeld loved the Addams Family and insisted he take the job. Surprising, since the dude was mainly known for his work in cinematography and had very little experience in the director's chair. A good decision, since he also directed the Men in Black trilogy, but he also directed Wild Wild West. Hey, you can't win them all. Now, right out of the gate, Barry insisted on a rewrite. A decision that had the backing of the entire cast, who were also big fans of the Addams Family, more so the adults than the children, but it's a gutsy move that's all too rare these days for an entire cast to go against the studio. Now, after the rewrite, the overall plot is the Addams greedy lawyer who's obviously charging way too much for his work.
Stop it! Let go!
Okay, maybe it's hazard pay. Okay, maybe it's a lot of hazard pay, but anyway, the dude is conspiring with his loan shark and her adopted son to steal the Addams family fortune while using her son as a stand-in for the missing Fester, who ironically looks just like him. The idea is while he's posing for Fester, he looks for the vault and tries to break in. As the movie progresses, he starts to get attached to the Addamses and realizes that he's never felt more at home with his adopted mother as he does with the Addamses. So he rebels, fights for the family he loves, killing the lawyer and the loan shark.
Are they dead? Does it matter?
Only by the end of the film is it revealed that he actually is Fester, just with amnesia. The movie closes out with Morticia telling Gomez she's pregnant while the rest of the family digs up the family plot to celebrate Halloween. And that is the Addams Family in a nutshell. An absolute preposterous story that the movie makes fun of.
That's preposterous.
Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
Awesome.
It certainly is.
It's obvious they couldn't get a full rewrite of the script and settled on a few edits here and there, but for what it's worth, the bullshit story fits in with the absolute bonkers natures of the Addams Family. And let's be real, there's worse writing in movies nowadays. Hell, there's even some weirdos who would just squeeze in a serial killer from a well-known franchise into something that has nothing to do with them.
Man, so far this trip is a bust. No grabs or anything. Not even a meow. I know they got a new cat the other day. Might as well pack up and try the house down the road. What the heck is that? Nope, time to leave. Dude, I shouldn't have called him asshole in a mask.
But the movie also takes it a little bit further and references the show in the comic by taking some jokes lifted right out of the show and the comic. And I imagine that some of these jokes wouldn't land if it weren't for the casting, which is absolutely perfect. Raul Julia as Gomez is a dead ringer for John Atkins, an energetic portrayal of Gomez, but adding his own flair to it without going off the deep end. And I gotta say, Raul Julia had some pipes on him. Now, Morticia, on the other hand, the family matriarch, played by Anjelica Huston, is a little different from her TV show counterpart, played by Carolyn Jones. The difference is how they approach protecting the family, whereas Carolyn Jones was more visibly upset whenever her family got threatened and was out front ready to kick ass, while Huston stayed reserved until the right moment to convey what she would do for her family.
And our credo, sic gorgiamus allos subjectatos nunc. We gladly feast on those who would subdue us. Not just pretty words. As an Addams, you understand completely, don't you?
A darker, more subtle approach for the character, but perfect for the film. And still very faithful to the character, since family was everything to Morticia. But together, both portrayals of these two characters is why Gomez and Morticia top so many best couple lists in film history. Both actors do an exceptional job. You don't need any over-the-top music to convey what these two feel for each other. Just watch and you can feel it.
How long has it been since we've waltzed?
Oh, Gomez. Hours.
And that's not a knock against the music that is in the movie, because the music fits the mood perfectly. And for the longest time, I thought Danny Elfman did the music for Addams Family, but instead it's Mark Shaman. And he did a really good job. It fits the movie perfectly. After all, it's very important to have the right music for the right setting. And of course, there are the kids. Another change from the TV show, but it feels right in line with the comic, are Wednesday and Pugsley. In the TV show, they were more traditional brother and sister. Yeah, they blew stuff up and had unconventional pets, but they didn't really stand out that much. In the movie, that is a different story. Wednesday, played to perfection by Christina Ricci in one of her more famous roles, is absolute peak hilarity. Her deadpan delivery of all of her jokes just, if it doesn't get a giggle out of you, you're not human.
Are you sure they're real lemons? Yes. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll buy a cup if you buy a box of my delicious Girl Scout cookies. Do we have a deal? Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
And it's something that Jenna Ortega has been trying to imitate with the Wednesday TV show, but I don't think she holds a candle to Christina as far as comedy goes. Now, Jimmy Workman, on the other hand, does a great job keeping up with Christina, but I feel Wednesday kind of overshadows him a bit, more so in the second movie. But the dude's got some good scenes here and there.
Bravo, Pugsley!
Then finally, Fester, played by Christopher Lloyd. What's there to say? It's Christopher fucking Lloyd. He does a phenomenal job as Fester. The character's a little wishy-washy in the first film, but I blame that on the patchy rewrites. Lloyd shines when he's allowed to be Fester. I guess you could say it's the amnesia wearing off and the real Uncle Fester is coming out to play. Lloyd, he has fun with this role, you can tell it.
Come on!
We'll catch up.
Now, the rest of the Addamses are pretty cool, like Cousin It. He's fantastic here. He comes up to a party listening to MC Hammer. That just, oh man, that brings me right back to the 90s. Where are my parachute pants? Oh, that's right, he's not here. But anyway, Mama, she made me chuckle a couple of times.
To the show. Voodoo witch doctors here in the United States, do they really exist?
Dinner's gonna be late.
Now that's a joke Nigel could really get behind, but of course he's not here. He better not do this to me for November or worse, Christmas. I swear I could just stab him sometimes.
Wait, isn't next month November? Sorry, buddy. Next month is November, and I'm not missing that for anything. Wow, dude was just an asshole in a mask. Oh well, time to get home.
And then you got Lurch. He's okay. They really didn't give Lurch much to do in this movie, whereas in the show, Lurch was a staple. Don't get me wrong, he does butler things alright, and occasionally he does sit down to play the organ. It should be a harpsichord, but that's just... They didn't even let him say, "You rang." Let it go. Other than those few nitpicks, the film is perfect. The time the movie takes to build up to jokes is flawless, and the quick ones that pay homage to the TV show or the comics, they work by themselves even if you're not familiar with either. Even the one-off jokes are hilarious, and I gotta say, I feel sorry for this kid, because my mother used to do the same exact thing when I was younger. Why do they do that? But it's not just the jokes that hold the film together. It's the chemistry the characters have just being together. They sell the whole premise. These are characters that can just enjoy being around each other. It comes off as homicidal mania to outsiders, but it's utter bliss to them. They stab, maim, explode, and even electrocute each other, but at the end of the day, it's just regular family fun time for them. And it's because of this dynamic that drove people back to the theaters in the 90s to see this movie over and over, warranting a sequel 3 years later. Family values. Now, the rule with sequels is usually the quality declines because they decided to up the ante on certain aspects while letting others fall to the wayside. And family values, for the most part, holds true to the original formula, even doubling down on certain things. For starters, the blunt, in-your-face tone of the jokes is still present. In fact, I think they crammed even more jokes in this time around. The movie starts off 9 months after the original, with Morticia popping out her and Gomez's third kid, while Pugsley and Wednesday listen to a kid give her sanitized version where kids come from the Cabbage Patch. And that's when Wednesday and Pugsley burst her bubble.
Our parents are having a baby, too. They had sex.
Now, this was actually an in-house joke of how many popular franchises started dumbing down their properties for a more family-friendly approach. Family Value shits on that notion and continues on with business as usual. As soon as the baby makes it to the house, the kids get to work trying to return the status quo. But since the kid is Addams, he's kind of hard to kill.
1, 2.
Children, what are you doing in there?
Playing. 3.
And Wednesday and Pugsley go so overboard that Morticia and Gomez get overwhelmed by the situation.
Do it. Hold him still. You missed.
Those two get overwhelmed by this. That tells you how bad they get. So Morticia and Gomez decide to hire a nanny. That goes the way you expect.
So, this morning, let's discuss how to prevent forest fires.
Prevent them.
After all the other nannies run off or possibly get murdered, in comes another woman claiming to be sent by the agency, Debbie, played by Joan Cusack. Now, off the bat, it's obvious she's a little off and possibly dangerous.
Oh, I just adore little babies. I just want to grab them and squeeze them till there's not a breath left in their tiny little bodies. Hello?
Something that blends well with the Addamses, so they pay it no mind. In fact, they ask her to start that day. Now, Debbie's real intention is to marry Fester, off him, and then run off with the family fortune, something she has done multiple times. But her first step is to get rid of Wednesday and Pugsley for coming across her plan by sending them to summer camp of all places. This section is a joke that keeps on giving all throughout the movie's runtime. Seeing the kids clash with the chipper, upbeat attitude of the campers is just hilarious.
Why are you dressed like somebody died? Wait.
The only real hiccup is Pugsley gets sidelined for a teen romance with Wednesday and a boy named Joel. Hell, even Thing gets sidelined for this. Don't get me wrong, the section's not bad. It's actually pretty good. Both actors sell a decent portrayal of young love. I just wish they gave more to Pugsley and Thing. But the few times they get back in the movie, it's really good.
He's sick all the time.
Oh, Mel, don't store with me on that,
This
please.
is it. You did this. This is nothing to do with...
Camp counselors, played by Peter McInall and Christina Baranski, are some of the funniest parts of the movie, hands down. As the movie continues, they slowly start to get a little bit more unhinged as they try to get the kids to conform, but just falling short.
Isn't that sad?
Yes!
Don't we just hate that?
Yes!
Don't we wish they would just die?
Yes!
Oh, no, we don't.
And, of course, they suffer the same defeat as Colonel Custard. While this is going on, Fester gets married to Debbie, who immediately tries to fry him on their honeymoon. Again, the hitch is he's an Addams, so he's hard to kill.
Buffet.
Fester, being Fester, just treats it as foreplay and continues on as if nothing's wrong. And it gets really funny because Debbie just keeps upping the ante. She goes as far as trying to blow up the entire house to try to kill the man, but of course, no luck. Her final Hail Mary is to electrocute Fester and the whole family just to bite the bullet herself. Not that electric chair would actually work on any of them, and I'll refer you to the previous movie with Pugsley. After the cookout, Fester finds new love in the form of Cousin It's new maid, the family reunites, and Wednesday's new boyfriend may have died.
If I wanted to kill my husband, I'd do it, and I wouldn't get caught.
How?
I'd scare him to death.
No, you wouldn't.
In a lot of places, Family Values is just as good as the original, but where it falls short is the mood. Family Values seems to focus more on telling jokes rather than letting a scene breathe, whereas the original, there's a section where the family is just being themselves. There's no joke, there's no running gag, it's just them being them. At the end of the day, it was still a comedy, but the mood and the pace was slower. Whereas in Family Values, there's not one scene that isn't building to a punchline. Don't get me wrong, most of the jokes are absolutely hilarious and fit each character perfect. Wednesday still has the same bite she had in the first movie.
Is that your bathing suit? Is that your overbite?
Gomez and Morticia's infatuation with each other is amped up, and even referencing the dancing in the TV show. And that's when it hit me. The two movies are love letters to both the TV show and the comics. The first was leaning heavily into the comic, while the sequel drew more from the TV show. The zanier nature of the TV show is reflected perfectly in Family Values, even having popular comedy actors cameo for short nothing roles. Perfect example, they have Nathan Lane as a desk sergeant at a police station just because. Even the A-plot involving Fester marrying a Black Widow psycho is lifted right out of one of the episodes of the TV show. And that's the reason why I believe these films cannot be topped. Sure, some can come close while others hit the bottom of the grave where they belong. They didn't even try with that animated film. And hell, the second one is just a rip-off of the third Hotel Transylvania film. If you can't tell, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the animated films. I know someone's going to say, well, it's targeted toward children. That's a shit excuse because the writing doesn't even compare to the cartoon it's based off of.
Strange. There's usually a murderous clown attached to the other end of these.
They didn't even let the scene speak for itself. They just straight out pointed, hey, this is an It reference. Meanwhile, back in the old cartoon, we had zingers like this.
Okay, now don't anybody move or I'll shoot.
Bad move, old girl. The last person to grab Wednesday's braids was that crook, the late Rabsy McBill.
He was such a nice man.
Was.
So a little personal advice, stay away from these pieces of shit and go watch these instead. After all, the real Addamses will always make you feel like family. Well, I guess Nigel ain't coming back anytime soon, so I guess I'll close out the video. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button, and if you want to watch more, subscribe and ring that notification bell. We also have a Patreon page. We're getting stuff lined out, but I do release videos there early occasionally, so go give that a check out if you're interested. And since it's Halloween, Have a safe holiday, and we'll see you again for November next month. Assuming Nigel doesn't ditch you again. If he keeps trying to steal people's cats, eventually he's going to catch it in the neck, but I can't tell him nothing. Oh well, y'all take care.
There's the car. I will be happy when I'm out of here.